Hi, glad to see you on my channel. Support the channel by giving likes, subscribing, and leaving comments. For you, it's not difficult, and for me, a great motivation to create new videos. Enjoy watching. After graduating from university, I immediately got a job in a large company. The salary was decent, and the career seemed promising. My parents, of course, were delighted. Their son was doing well in New York and could think about getting married. They started hinting that it was time to settle down and start a family. At one of the family dinners, they introduced me to Emma, the daughter of my mom's friend. She was quiet and modest, with her eyes downcast when she spoke, and studying to be a teacher. There was an unspoken understanding between everyone present that there were certain expectations attached to this introduction. I agreed to live with Emma's family in their 2-bedroom apartment. There was enough room for everyone, and they insisted that the young couple needed help. I agreed, as I did not yet have a place of my own. Such a decision seemed practical, although I felt as if I had stepped into a new world. We had a modest wedding in a small restaurant with only family and close friends in attendance. Emma looked so happy in her white dress, and I felt a surge of hope for our future together. It seemed that our lives were completely in line with the dreams our parents had made for us. Lily's baby girl was born. Emma was fully immersed in motherhood. Her mother, Margaret, helped a lot, looking after Lily and cooking dinner. My father-in-law, Robert, worked all day and came home late, exhausted. Life flowed smoothly and steadily. I was at work from morning to evening, and at home my wife took care of our daughter and my mother-in-law did the housework. On weekends, the whole family would go to the park or to visit relatives. It was the typical life of an ordinary family, but I often wondered if this rhythm would continue forever. Then the company I worked for faced a financial crisis. They started cutting costs and laying off employees. I was among those laid off. For 3 months I looked for a new job, but found nothing. Our savings were dwindling and the atmosphere at home began to change. Emma was silent, but I could see the worry in Robert's eyes. He began to look at me, as if doubting my ability to provide for the family. Margaret, on the other hand, supported me, saying nothing but urging me to hold on. Her quiet strength and unwavering kindness were a source of comfort during those difficult times. In the evenings, when everyone was asleep, Margaret and I would sit in the kitchen and drink tea. She would tell me about her youth, how she herself had started working and faced hardships. In those moments, I saw her not just as a mother-in-law, but as a woman beautiful, intelligent, and understanding. Although Margaret was in her 40s, she groomed herself and dressed elegantly. I noticed her more and more often, catching her eyes lingering on me. These evenings became our refuge, a brief escape from the stress and uncertainty that hung over us. One weekend, we went to my parents' cottage. Robert was away on a business trip. I had just returned from a long day of job hunting. Margaret and I sat in the kitchen and talked about life. She talked about how difficult her younger years had been, how Robert was often absent, consumed with work. Sometimes, she said, I wonder if it was worth putting up with all this for so many years. Her vulnerability hit a nerve, and I realized how much I appreciated our conversations. Before I realized it, I leaned over and kissed her cheek. Margaret responded as if she'd waited her whole life for this moment. The night flew by in a whirlwind of emotions. We shared truths that had gone unspoken for too long. In the morning, I was awakened by the sound of the front door, the sound of Emma and Lily returning. The weight of what had happened was weighing on me, though I tried to pretend everything was fine. A week later, I found a new job. Outwardly, life seemed to be getting better, but inwardly, I was in turmoil. Margaret was still caring and friendly, but in those fleeting moments when her eyes met mine, I shuddered. The tension between us was palpable, but imperceptible to others. I could only hope that time would settle things and bring a sense of normalcy back into our lives. But in the back of my mind, I realized that some things, once set in motion, could never be undone. The future seemed uncertain, having to balance between keeping things visible and struggling with the choices we had made.